Happy Tuesday! I'm the prop queen, Ariel Epstein. I'm excited for everyone to be here today because we have a loaded show. I am also excited because I am here in my apartment, back in my studio, and I don't have to worry about chasing around 3 different dogs at the same time. I hope everyone could join in because we've got every sport covered that you need. Sponsored by Pickett Sports. So if you haven't already, download the Pickett Sports app because it's free and you could just use promo code PropQueen. Download it for free. And please contribute to the Pickett cause because it is actually a great app, which is why it is one of the sponsors of the show. Today, Coach James Young is going to bring all the energy, all the heat. We're going to talk the big WNBA slate tonight with some props. We've also got NBA Finals Game 6 on Thursday and a lot of breaking news and how we can break down that game with key injuries. 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be joined by NHL.com's Troy Perlowitz. He's going to break down a bunch of different props for us from the Stanley Cup Finals. For you guys in the chat, I would love to know the over-under on when Marley starts crying. I just think that, that's always a bet that we have to make in this chat. Are we going to get 30 minutes in? Are we going to get 50 minutes in? We'll see. Sorry, Sean. I know Stormy. She was on vacation. I know she's back, but then she was in Omaha. Yes, on Sunday, I think, doing her show. So we'll see if the series continues, I'll ask her. MLB teams seem to be more inconsistent this year in win or loss. Are teams caring less about regular season? No, I wouldn't say that's the case. Teams just get on really hot and really cold streaks in baseball all the time. Remember when the Tampa Bay Rays, was it 2 years ago, went on that streak of the first 25 games of the year or something? They were 24-1. It was an insane run. And then of course they didn't even they ended up going on a massive slump. The Yankees last year, they got super hot and then they cooled off in August. So I think it's just one of those things where you get these baseball teams that get really hot and really cold. Look at the Rays right now, really hot. Orioles getting hot right now. So like Jessica said, it's a fact. There's no top tier team personally, David. That and the gap in baseball is smaller. I would say that the gap in the American League is definitely small. The American League is having a down year. No doubt about it. I don't trust anybody in the American. I don't know who's going to come out of it. I think whoever comes out of the National League wins again, just like last year. It wouldn't surprise me. I know that the Dodgers are getting a little bit of a run for their money because obviously, you're going to have to regress at some point. But right now, the World Series have the Dodgers at plus 240, the Yankees plus 550, the Mets at 8-1, the Tigers plus 850, and the Phillies 12-1. We're sleeping on the Phillies at 12-1, even though pitching is iffy. And the Padres 24-1, the Astros 15-1. There is a lot of value out there, and we still don't know what's going to happen at the trade deadline. So everyone should definitely keep the trade deadline in mind. I know that we had the big news about Rafi Devers and how he got traded to the Giants. I did see some crazy props already, and I have to post them. I didn't upload the graphics yet. So you could already on DraftKings bet on Rafael Devers to homer against the Red Sox this weekend. It is only Tuesday, and yet you've got Rafi Devers to hit a home run in the series at plus 140, to record 2 or more home runs in the series, plus 750, and to record 3 or more home runs, 35-1. But remember, they're in San Fran, and it appears tonight Rafi Devers is going to make his debut. So we just have to – I meant to look at that today and see what Rafi Devers' numbers are in San Francisco. I can look it up right now. Or Jessica can. I'm going to look it up on, let's see, career numbers, Oracle. So at Oracle, he's only had 13 plate appearances, Devers, 1 hit in 13 plate appearances, which was a double. So that's all I got. Again, American League versus National League, so there's not going to be that many opportunities for Devers to be there. We're going to not really have many numbers, and we obviously don't have numbers against Devers against the Red Sox pitching. Well, I guess maybe some, like a Giolito or something, but I have to see who's pitching this weekend. It's going to be very interesting and obviously a lot of rivalry, and it would be even funnier if Devers decides to go and play some freaking position that he told the Red Sox he wouldn't play. I know Big Papi spoke out and said he was trying to talk to him. No getting through to him. Now, a guy who works in this building, in my building in the city, he's a diehard Red Sox fan. He said, listen, Ariel, they had to trade him now while they were struggling because if the Red Sox went on a hot streak, they wouldn't trade him. Like, you couldn't trade one of your best players again if your team's doing well. So since the Red Sox are doing bad, you could say, okay, make the excuse, trade him away, get a pitcher, and we'll see what the Red Sox do at the deadline. But right now, the Red Sox, listen, I'm not high on them because everyone preseason was high on them. And look at what happens when everyone preseason is high on you. It sucks. Look at the Ravens. Yankee fans off their rocker right now. John Boy was unhinged today. The Dodgers have beaten the least amount of good teams. And also, the Braves have faced the least amount of divisional opponents. So that's going to be interesting. They play the Mets. A lot to get to today when it comes to that. It wouldn't let me add in what I wanted to do because while we're on the DraftKings thing, okay, there it goes. Before we get to the NBA, which there is some news out of the NBA, and we'll talk to Coach about that in a couple minutes. This fan right here on DraftKings, have you guys been following this, chat? Like, have you guys been watching this guy who bet like $13 to win $270K? If the Oilers lose, though, it's done. And it's an elimination game tonight, which we'll ask Troy Perlowitz about, see what his thoughts are around 5:30 p.m. Eastern time on if he thinks that this bet. First of all, did you guys know that if you were following this story about this bettor who has a potential to make $270K, he could have cashed out at 6 figures? And he didn't. He's riding it out. And now he's in an elimination game tonight. Listen, I understand not hedging, but when you bet like $13 and you can cash out for $100K, cash out. Like, I could use that $100K right now. It would be very nice. Dumb. I'd be like, F yeah, let's do this thing. Thunder looked good for him. Math like cats a ton here. Again, yeah, just Rodriguez. Don't leave money on the table. That's what we don't do on this show. Okay, before we get to Coach, who's going to be popping in, hopefully he knows to get the same link. I told him it's the same link, so hopefully he pops on soon. If you didn't, which you probably did because you guys are all diehards like me, see the news, Tyrese Halliburton believed to have suffered a strained right calf and will undergo an MRI to determine the severity of the strain. Again, he put up, like 4 or 6 points last night. It was a terrible performance. We should have faded Hallie last night. I thought about it, but I couldn't do it again. We already hit it in the first game in OKC, so I couldn't do it. But should have faded him on the road. And right now, according to Pickett Sports says the best line for OKC right now is -6. Which you would think is a little, I know they're on the road. If Halliburton is not playing, -6, really? I mean, he's probably going to play, but is he really able to play? I'm very concerned about the Pacers. This feels like, hey, it was a really nice Cinderella run. Good for you. But sayonara. Oh, Marley's already crying. So whoever took the under, you cashed. Congratulations on the under for Marley crying on the show. McConnell stocks, very high. Yeah, McConnell stocks are high. Shawn Michaels said, the guy for the DraftKings, if you took 100K, hedge, put 50K on Florida, you could have walked with 150K. That's why this guy's got to listen to the show. I don't know where Coach is. You good, Coach? Find out. Damn, oh, there he is. Shawn Michaels said, also, I do not approve of the dating drama on my ex today. Whatever. Actually, it's kind of funny when you say it like that, like on X today, like on my ex. Ha ha ha. Yeah, Kelly's going to come on the show because, before I bring on Coach, I do have this graphic ready to go. Kelly's going to come on the show on Thursday because you can vote now for the Premier Lacrosse League All-Star Game, which is 4th of July. It's July 4th and July 5th. It's going to be with ESPN. I think SportsCenter is going there too. So definitely go to the PLL website and go vote. So Kelly and I are going to talk about my dating life and how shitty it is because Kelly makes it that way. Kelly loves torturing me, and we'll talk about what led to this whole thing this weekend. She was at a wedding, and she decided that it was going to be a good idea to try to set me up again. This guy was not my type. Whatever. We only talk to winners here. And that's why our next guest is coming on the show because he is a winner. We're talking WNBA. We're talking NBA Finals. We've got Mr. Coach James Young. What is up?
Well, Ariel, I don't, from someone that is 48, and divorced, take your time with the dating, all right? Tell Kelly, pump her fucking brakes a little bit, slow your roll, let's relax. Let's not worry about dating advice. You are the prop queen. It's time to give out picks.
Hey, listen, I'm all about letting life take me where it goes. This is what Kelly doesn't realize. She's like, you want to be married. You want to have kids. And I said, yeah, but I want to be married to the right person. I don't want to be married just to be married like some people are. I'm in no rush. And my only rush is, of course, I want my parents to be grandparents. Like, that's my goal. But I'm not rushing into this thing. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to make my money. And then when he comes along, then he comes along.
Well, listen, I don't know Kelly very well, but I'm going to ask you two questions. Number one, is Kelly married?
No, she doesn't want to be.
She doesn't want to be.
No, but she has a boyfriend for 10 years.
Does she have kids?
No, she doesn't want kids.
Okay, I have left. Kelly, I'm sure you're lovely, but don't know you. We follow each other on X. Holla at my girl, but let's just stick to hoops right now.
Let's stick to hoops because I'm going to talk about the dating drama on Thursday when we start and go to war. WNBA. We have a lot of WNBA on the slate tonight. It's probably one of the larger slates that we've had you on for. And of course, you have props. So let's talk about some of those props before we get to your sides and totals. Mabry, over 7.5 rebounds plus assists. You're willing to lay some juice on that. Why?
Well, listen, shout out to, I've known Marina since she was a kid, Jersey Shore kid, Manasquan High School. She's gone over the last 3 games, and if you look at the game tonight versus Indiana, it should get up and down. There really is no one else that can create off the bounce for Connecticut besides Marina. But then the other part of it is the fact that the number of threes that particularly Mitchell, Hull, if Sophie Cunningham plays tonight, Caitlin Clark, long shots, long rebounds, that benefits guards. She's a pretty good rebounder. Look for Marina Mabry over 7.5 rebounds plus assists.
And then you like for Boston to go over 13.5 points tonight. This one is an interesting matchup because, listen, we already saw we have the Connecticut Sun facing the Indiana Fever, and we did see the return already for Caitlin Clark, but you like Boston over 13.5 points.
Yeah, if you really look at it right now, she's gone under 4 straight games. So people are like, "What, Coach? Why are you going on this?" Well, it's simply put, Connecticut is terrible defensively. Should be a ton of points. And this, when you have games, when you have going against a team that's struggling, sometimes you want to work on things. If you watch Indiana last year, the pick and roll between, or I would say more of a pick and pop, between Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston was so dynamic because when Caitlin Clark comes off the ball screen, you almost got to send 2 people at her. Aaliyah Boston doesn't always cut to the basket. Sometimes she spaces out to the wing, and she gets a good little 15-footer, which she's very, very adept at shooting on. So to me, if I am coming off of this big game and I'm Caitlin Clark, I want to try and get other people involved tonight. That's going to include Aaliyah Boston. Go Aaliyah Boston over 13.5 points in this game tonight. She should be able to get this, I'm going to say, in about 2.5 quarters.
We have a question from Sean Michael in the chat. Caitlin's line minus 21.5 beta. She might be on the bench in the 4th versus Connecticut.
Yeah, I would wish that they don't do it and shop around, folks, because I mainly deal with FanDuel. That's what we deal with Sportsgrid, obviously. See if you can find first quarter, first half Caitlin Clark props. If you're a coach, you're going to play her the normal minutes in the first quarter, decent minutes in the second quarter, and then the 3rd, 4th quarter is when things get dicey. Could she get to 22 points in 3 quarters? Yeah, but I think Sean's on to something. I think if I'm Caitlin Clark, this is the game that I dime other people up and get them going, particularly someone like Aaliyah Boston.
When you have Caitlin Clark back and then DeWanna Bonner also is going to be out, how does that impact things?
Well, you got to look at other people. You can look at someone like Lexi Hull that took her spot in the starting lineup. I think that's the main beneficiary, and Lexi had a really good game versus the New York Liberty over the weekend. So, DeWanna Bonner went to Indiana as that big free agent free agency, following her former coach, Stephanie White, over from the Connecticut Sun. It just hasn't worked out yet for Dawana. So if you want to look at other people, look at something like Lexi Hall.
Back to the props. I feel like you've given out this double-double already for Jonquel Jones. It's plus 100, though. Good value. Why do you keep going back to it?
Well, first things first, there was just a question in the chat from Jessica that asked she couldn't find quarter or first half points props for Caitlin Clark. And that's the issue with the WNBA with betting, because I don't think the books know how to do it. If you watch like the NBA finals, they have first quarter props and they're hanging out live props second, third, fourth quarter. I just put it out there if that's the way to trying to get it. Jessica, when we get to my plays after this, I'll be sure to answer where's the way you could play the game in the first half. When it comes to Jonquel Jones double-double, Ariel, 13.9, 10.3 in the season, number 2 in the WNBA in rebounds per game. Here is the big thing. Atlanta has this double big lineup of Brianna Jones and Brittany Grider. Usually it will be one of the two inside, one outside. Usually it's going to be Brittany Grider to the inside, which puts Jonquel Jones around the basket. This is a really good rebounding team in Atlanta, but the number 1 rebounding team in the WNBA in the New York Liberty. Look for Jonquel Jones to get a double-double at even money. Remember, folks, out of those 5 out of 7 games, one of the games she missed was the game versus the Washington Mystics, where she got hurt in the first quarter, but still had 4 rebounds right away. And just a quick side note, I know there was something that, watching the game over the weekend, I want people to understand it. I had a talk with a friend of mine that's connected to the WNBA, and he made an excellent point. Indiana is not winning that game last Saturday if Jonquel Jones plays. I don't think people understand how good this kid is at a GW at 6'5", the ability to play inside out, block shots, rebound the ball with reckless abandonment. She may not be the best player on the team. That could be Stewie. She may not be the most popular player in the NBA when it comes to that team. That's probably Sabrina Ionescu. But I think she's the most pivotal part of that team.
Did you know that you were AOD's uncle?
Hey, man, shout out, nephew. That's funny because, being an older guy.
Usually I'm the one being asked about an uncle. Everyone asks me about Uncle Jeffrey. That's what everyone asks me about.
Yeah. So if you're the queen, maybe I'm the unk of props. So I'm going to call myself the unk of props from now on.
Uncle of props. I love it. I know Jessica was talking to here about being the odds maker for Q1, Q2, points in the NBA, etc. Okay, we're going to talk about how to bet this game now because you like the Fever minus 10.5 in the first half, assuming you just feel like this is going to be a blowout in the second half.
Yeah, I do agree. Yes, and AOD, that is correct. When you call a black man unk, that is the ultimate sign of respect. So I don't know. We may have to teach Ariel some of the lingo, especially if Kelly in Vegas is going to set him up with some black eyes. We got to make sure she understands where the lingo is coming from, if you know what I'm saying. But when you talk about the game minus 10.5, Caitlin Clark is back, and obviously, what a fantastic performance. Connecticut is so goddamn bad, and they are minus 69, Ariel, in the first half. That's a problem. If you are Stephanie White, you blow them out early, then you could sit your players mainly in the fourth quarter. That's why if you talk about what Sean was talking about, that's where you get worried about 21.5 points in the fourth quarter with Caitlin Clark. So that's why if you think she's only going to play 3, she goes under, that means you're going to jump them early in the first half. Give me the Connecticut Fever first half minus 10.5.
Okay. And then Dream Liberty. So 162.5 is the total you grabbed. Liberty, one of the best teams in the league, but yet defense is going to be bad?
Well, the Liberty defense is very, very good, but they haven't played the craziest schedule if you really look at it. 78 points they gave up to the Aces, 80 points. And then obviously they give up a ton of points to Indiana. So any team that's really been good offensively has given them a little bit of fits. If you look at it, these teams are 1-3 in offensive points per game. They're 1-3 in offensive rating. They're 2-4 in assist percentage. They're 2-3 in assist to turnover percentage. And the Liberty are number 1 in pace, number 1 in true shooting percentage, and number 1 in effective field goal percentage. Hello, there's offense all over the place in this game. I know the Liberty play good defense, but I think this game goes up and over. Give me over 162.5 and Dream versus Liberty tonight.
I swear, I need a Valkyries jersey because I feel like I talk about this team every time I'm on the show, and I just think that their mascot is freaking hilarious. But okay, them and the Wings over 164. You're liking some overs today, Coach.
Yeah, you know, Ariel, it was funny because at first I was like, you know what, this game's going to go under. Then I started digging deeper and I started thinking about it, right? So the Valkyries are going over 2 of the last 3 games. Their defense has been decent, but here is the issue. They're going to get the Dallas Wings team that does not play a lot of defense. I mean, they didn't play a lot of defense with Trisha Trammell. This guy they got now, Kirkulis, I think you may call him Kirklulis because that's how bad of a coach he is, particularly on the defensive end of the floor. But think about this. Paige Beckers, her first game back was last Friday night versus the Aces. They went to 172. 4 out of the 5 games so far this year, they've gone over this number. That's not because of Paige's defense. That's because of her offense and her ability to push the pace and generate offense and put Arike Awumbawale off the ball. Give me over 164 tonight in Valkyries versus the Wings.
Sean Michael says Fever Connecticut's up to 165.5 for the total.
This is the other thing, Sean, that I really wish you could do. I wish that you could play just like team props. And I always go digging for them because sometimes FanDuel will sneak it on you and they won't tell you that they're posting it. But if you ever could find, like against Sun, they were so bad. I mean, do you remember the game? They were down by like 50 points at a Liberty in the third quarter. That's a fucking problem. So my whole thing is, you know, and Sean's right, the books are scared of laying team props because they know that you will run to it. If there are ways that you can look and find first quarter, first half props, team props, look at that because I equate the WNBA to women's college basketball. I know there was a case of the Valkyries, but I think the Valkyries, when they beat the Aces, the Valkyries are better than we thought they were going to be, and the Aces are worse. But if you look at the WNBA, it's like when UConn plays like a mid-major. They fucking roll them. So my concern is with the overs is you need that team that's favored to just carry so much of that, especially into the fourth quarter. Better off playing the first half maybe over, or if you find team totals, play them because you don't have to worry about an opponent for a team that sucks. That does not include my girl, Marina Maybury.
There's going to be potentially a team without a player in the NBA. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton, this is massively concerning, Coach, that he has a suffered strained right calf. We're not sure the extent of it yet. I was looking at the Pickett lines, which tells us the best lines out there in the market, and you're seeing OKC still -6. Feel like that number is still too hefty if Hallie's not 100%, nonetheless, potentially not even playing.
Yeah, listen, Indiana is so good, particularly with the second group. Folks, remember, Indiana made that run in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, with him on the bench. It was TJ McConnell in that third quarter that scored, I think, 13 points, but fucking nuclear. And anytime a little white dude is yelling at a bunch of brothers, you can't guard me. I am for the moment because I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And shout out to TJ McConnell. He's like a goddamn pest. But to me, you know, I look at the game right now and thinking, if Indiana's going to win, they're going to have to slow the game up, and they actually may be better on the defensive end without Halliburton playing a ton because he is like, what did Pat Beverly call Chris Paul? A cone. He's a cone, which you put a cone down, the cone don't move, you make your move, and then you go from there. So Tyrese Halliburton's not a strong defender. So to me, I'm looking more at the under. If you think the game is going over, then I would just bet the OKC team total over and just parlay it with the -6. Me, I know that Indiana.
Well, here's the thing with OKC.
Yeah.
OKC, it feels like if you want to bet a team total over, now is the time to bet it before we find out more about Hallie. Or if you want to bet OKC at all, then you bet it now.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to advise people, like, what is it the best move to bet things now?
If you want to make a pregame wager, Ariel, it is now because it's going to move another point to a point and a half, maybe 2 points.
You think Halliburton really is going to risk not playing?
I don't see what. Listen, I'm going to say something that I'm going to sound like an asshole. He played 30-some-odd minutes. He looked fine running up and down the floor. Then he got off the floor, it looked like he got shot in the legs. I don't know. But I'm also a Knicks fan that's fucking pissed off that this guy sent me home 2 years in a row. So you can't really give. I can honestly not give an unbiased opinion.
Honestly, it's a little bit of karma for the choking.
Yeah, maybe. And then good point by Sean, because I think it has been baked in a little bit, because it has moved since this morning when I did the early line with Joe Ranieri and Donnie Rightside. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how much more it moves. Listen, I think Indiana is still a dangerous team. I told people before the game last night, the best way to play Indiana is Indiana can shoot the three really well, and they're deep, so they can go on runs. Is you can let the game start, let a team take the lead, play it one way, let it go all the way down. You can play it the other way, and you got yourself a great middle. And you had that opportunity with Indiana down by 15, 16, 17 points in the second, third quarter. You're going to jump on them plus, 17, 18. And then when that lead got back down to 2, if you thought Oklahoma City was going to win, you could have took them on the money line, and you could have found yourself a nice middle where you could have cashed in on both. This is a team, Indiana, that they're a middle team. They're a team that's going to go on runs, and they're going to give up runs just as quickly.
Coach, I know we're going to get you on again on Thursday before the game. However, if people want to get in on props early, who would you be targeting?
Well, number one, I think Halliburton's going to play. I would go to Pascal Siakam over his points. He's got to be dynamic. And then it's you got to find the guy that's going to score as a guard. I would not touch Nimbrand. I would go under his props. I've been solidly going under it because he just, number one, he should have been, people talk about Halliburton, me, man. This motherfucker was throwing the ball all over the gym to the wrong team last night. So he was the one that should have been benched. So to me, look at a couple of different guys you may want to look at to get hot. Either Aaron Naismith or obviously Benedict Mathurin. Naismith is a funny guy because you could play him live when they're losing, because he's the type of guy that when he starts losing, they just get it to him and he starts throwing up threes. What's going to be interesting tomorrow or Thursday is I bet, and I think I told you this before the series started, I bet 5-1 that Lou Dort was going to lead the series in threes. Him and Naismith are tied at 14. And I still think it's plus money. Not a lot. I think plus 120, plus 130 for Lou
He's
Dort.
due. I gave it out in the newsletter yesterday and said Lou Dort 3 or more made threes was at great value at plus 165. Yep. I would go for it again.
Yep. And the thing about Lou Dort is, and this is the tough part with Game 6, if you look at it, is he's been hot, cold, hot, cold, hot. So, but the weird thing with him being cold, Ariel, is it's not that he's cold, it's that he doesn't get the shot attempts.
Right. So I think he shot like 1-3 2 games ago.
Right. Exactly. So I would still be looking at Lou Dort to lead the series in threes. I would look at over 2.5 made threes for him because it's still at the end of the day. J-Dub got 40, right? You had 31 out of SGA, right? Then you go to the fact of Chet got nearly a double-double. I think he had 9 and 15. If I'm Rick Carlisle, I'm still saying, I can't let J-Dub beat me. I can't let, obviously, SGA beat me. It's got to be Lou Dort. So look at Lou Dort took over his 3-point prop again. And I think squeak it out over Aaron Naismith to lead the series in threes unless Tyrese Halliburton doesn't play. Then you put more of a true point guard like McConnell, and then that market may move a little bit as well.
Yeah, we're going to just assume right now that Hallie's playing, and then Thursday when you come back on the show, we'll talk whether he is or isn't. I'm sure we'll know a little bit more. Are you as tempted as me to fade McConnell?
Yeah, because I feel like everyone's
going to be on him.
Everybody's going to be on him, and that's why I think like Sean mentioned,
like the Naismith thing when he went off at the Garden and everyone was like riding him again, and I'm like 99% of bets to the over. You're all idiots.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I'm saying that's why if you look at who I'm looking at scoring, I mentioned Mathurin, I mentioned Naismith. I just feel like they're going to be on McConnell, and if McConnell does,
and if he's only 10.5, like Shawn Michaels says. Book knows something.
Yeah, when you get those bench guys, they don't score a ton, and they give you a big game, and you want to jump on them, and they put that to double digits.
That's Obi Toppin.
Well, the hell with him.
Went over by one freaking bucket.
Yeah. Well, listen, Obi Toppin's an interesting case because Obi Toppin came out looking like Reggie fucking Miller in game 1, and then he was hitting the side, and then he looked shooting like Chris
Yeah,
Dunn
I faded him in game 2.
2.
I was pumped.
Oh, yeah,
so
of
every
course.
time that he goes off, I fade him the next game, and it usually works, except for yesterday.
Yep. And I think that's the thing is
I'm going to fade him again.
Yeah, and if the thing with McConnell is this: if he plays extended minutes, you better be getting the fucking ball to Siakam. You better be looking at Naismith. You better be looking at Matthew, not looking for himself, because there's a difference with McConnell. When he's with those bench guys, he's got to carry the load for Ben Shepard, so on and so forth, or if they're not playing Bennett Mathurin. But if he's in there with Pascal and he's been there with Aaron Naismith, and you get that pick and pop threat and Miles Turner, fuck, you best be damned. You better be giving them the goddamn ball.
I gotta let you go, but before I do, we do have everyone calling you Unc now. I probably will get in trouble on social media for that. So
No. You're allowed.
Thanks. They're gonna cut that part out and cancel me. What do you think of the first half Liberty first half Lynx money line parlay?
Hey, at the end of the day, let's keep it real. I trash Angel recent times in the Chicago Sky. By the way, yes, I have forgot to say they're still the worst fucking team in the WNBA. I don't give a fuck how many wins they got, including that. And by the way, let me say this real quick. Congratulations to Angel Reese on your triple-double. But if you really watch the game, the reason why they won the game was they unlocked Haley Van Lith. Shout out to HBO getting 16 points and 5 rebounds. But for that, in regard to that money line parlay, yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's going to be a big game for the Liberty. Liberty should be in a bad mood. John Paul Jones should be back. And let me tell you something. The Las Vegas Aces, holy shit. I mean, respectfully, she's a lovely lady. I used to have a crush on her when she played in the WNBA. But damn, Becky Hammond looks like she looks like she's in a bad mood all the time. She looks like Pop. You know Popovich when he was at the Spurs and he was winning and was happy, and he was losing, he got freckled and old and yeah, I'll let you say it, but you get where I'm going. And yes, AOD.
At least I can talk about the females. Yeah, I can't get canceled for that.
Yes, and shout out, AOD, you're my guy. Yes, the sky or ass cheeks. I agree.
Sportsgrid forever. Sportsgrid forever. Coach James Young, he will be back on Thursday because if the series ends, I'm going to be sad that we can only talk like one sport that, Coach, we need him on longer. We need Coach on longer. And also, if he was on longer, I'd probably get canceled. So
wait. Time out. Wait. Time out. I got 4 left. Time out before I go. Because I know you have someone after me. Is it me? Wait, I'm coming on when Kelly's coming on.
You come on right before her.
No. We got to. Can you? You want
to crosstalk?
Can we get us all in together? Because I got to get in on this shit. I got some jokes I got to get out there. Can I?
Absolutely. I think I could get 3 people in at once, so we'll figure that out.
I'm in the mix.
Oh my God! I'll finally have somebody backing me. No one ever defends me, Coach. If you turn your back on me, you're never coming back on.
What the fuck do you mean? Kelly has invited me on her show, so I'm loyal to you.
Do not turn your back on me.
I'm not even crossing my fingers with my
Everybody takes her side. It's so freaking annoying.
Team Ariel. Listen, folks, just so you know, and I don't know if I've said this before. I think I probably have. My first week on Sportsgrid, I went on with Ariel. I think Ariel was the second day. I think it was. Who are you with? Was it you and Kate and Kevin?
No, it was probably me and Ben Stevens.
It was you and Ben. It was Aaron, Kate Dolan, and Kevin the first day, and Ariel and Ben the second day. And I thought I wasn't gonna fucking make it to a third day because the third day was Pharrell. But I will always admit that Ariel's always been great to me. So I will. You know what, Kelly? You're a good girl, but fuck off. I'm taking Ariel's side on Thursday.
She's probably drunk in Vegas right now. She's doing stuff for Westgate, so she's not going to be sober until Thursday.
Oh no, we may have to talk about this. You may have to liquor me up first because that sounds like a pretty good gig.
Coach James Young, I will see you on Thursday for the 3 of us to go at it. I am looking forward to the WNBA slate tonight. Thanks for those props. I will see you in a couple days.
See you, Ariel.
Coach always brings the heat. I love it. I'm so excited someone's going to defend me in the dating world. It ain't my mom. It ain't Kelly. It's not our friends. They all tell me I'm picky and that I should settle. I'm not settling. That's why this show gives you winners, because I don't settle for bad guests. I don't settle for bad boyfriends. I don't settle for bad anything. We only elevate and we reach for the best. And that's why this next guest is coming on. He is one of the best in the business. He works for NHL.com. He's got the edge. He knows exactly where to be looking in the props market when it comes to the Stanley Cup. Tonight, it might be the last night that we're betting this, but maybe they survive. We've got a lot to get to with him. Troy Perlowitz is joining the show. What is up?
Thanks so much for having me. I don't know how I'm going to follow that, but I will do my best.
Oh, don't worry about it. Because if you listen, I don't want you to get in trouble. I just want you to look like you are doing the most educated research that you possibly can. We want to get Troy on air more. Coach, he's already served his time. He knows that he's like, I'm ready for the heat. I want to be canceled. Come at me. We don't need you canceled yet, Troy.
Well, tonight so the Stanley Cup, the most beautiful trophy in all of sports, will be in the building. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky will be there, which is my idol. I love him. And Taylor Swift might be there. So, I mean, it's like the greatest thing that could ever happen could be in Florida tonight.
Do you think it ends tonight?
I don't. I think we're going 7. I thought we were going 7 from the start. I'll stick with it. I don't think the Oilers have played their best hockey so far in this series. I expect them to, do that.
Oh, wait, hon, I cut you off. Continue. Sorry.
I expect the Oilers to win tonight. I really think that I thought we've been going towards going 7 games all series long. So I really think that's going to end up with Edmonton winning tonight.
Well, did you see this on DraftKings? This bettor who has the $270,000 on the line. If the Oilers lose, then he's out.
So I am a very risk adverse person. This is another level of crazy. I thought he had it was a $15 bet or a $10 bet, and he was offered $100,000 cash out. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to say no to that.
Me neither.
Well,
now he has to ride it out.
Right. Yeah, I understand that side of it, but that takes some. That takes something.
This is going to be like watching the Circa Survivor people in Vegas waiting out the last week of the NFL season. This poor guy, I feel for him, but we're going to talk some props because that's what this show is all about. Our pearls of wisdom today. You've got an anytime goal parlay for plus 450.
So with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, their point props are there will be no value on their point props. It's McDavid is first and Leon Draisaitl is tied for 7th in NHL history in points per game while facing elimination. If those two players don't get on the scoreboard tonight, there's no way Edmonton's going to win this game. So I don't see any value on betting them individually, but I do see value on betting them together. They factored on the same goal 17 times this postseason, 4 in this Stanley Cup final. I expect if the Oilers fall behind early, and remember, Florida is such a good first period team. If Edmonton falls behind early, I expect McDavid and Draisaitl to play together. And when they play together, you have 2 of the 5 best players in the league on the ice at the same time. I think it's only a matter of time before one of them, and in my case, both of them score.
If the total is 6.5, like it has been this whole series, juices to the under. How come this Stuart Skinner under 25.5 saves?
So I like this Skinner prop for 2 reasons, and it has nothing to do with I think Skinner is bad, and I expect Florida to win a lot. I like him. I like this for 2 reasons. One is he has a very short leash, right? So if he gives up a few goals early, just like in Game 4, I don't think Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Oilers, will hesitate to pull him and go to Calvin Pickard, just like he did in Game 4. So I think the leash is short, which means I think there's a little bit of value on going under on Skinner. The other thing is that Edmonton's a very good defensive hockey team. People forget that because the whole goal scoring has been so high in this series. But Edmonton, in terms of shot prevention, is top of the league. During the regular season, they allowed the fewest high danger scoring chances against. So they're really good in terms of playing good, solid defensive structure in front of Skinner, which is why I think that the value is on his under. I expect when facing elimination, playing desperate hockey, I think the Edmonton Oilers will come with their full defensive great performance, and that means Skinner might not see a whole lot of rubber tonight, and therefore I think I like the under on that one.
Jessica says she's pro Florida today. A lot of shots on goal unders for Oilers skaters. But then Shawn Michael says, no way McDavid goes out like this. He may score a hattie. Thoughts?
Yeah, I tend to go with the second one. I can't see McDavid. Another thing with McDavid is that last year in the Stanley Cup final, everyone remembers that Florida went up 3-0 and Edmonton had to battle back. McDavid had back-to-back 4-point games in Game 4 and Game 5, and then got completely blanked in Game 6 and Game 7. I just think that he's had to hear about that for an entire year. There's just no way that he hasn't heard any of that. There's no way that he's not going to respond to that. He's the best player in the league. I tend to think that McDavid is about to pop off. The scoring chances have been there. He scored his first goal of the series in Game 5. He also missed another one from point blank and hit the post. He could have easily had a hat trick in that game. Problem for the Oilers is that they're just giving up too many goals. And, even if he had a hat trick in the last game, they're still going to lose that game 4-3.
Evander Kane over 4.5 hits at +110.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good value and an interesting prop. Evander Kane, we've seen him. He had 17 hits in the first 2 games of this series, 21 hits in the first 3 games of this series. He's a physical hockey player with a little bit of a short fuse, which we saw in Game 3 when he got 16 minutes of penalty minutes. But if he plays under control and he brings a physical presence, you're going to see Evander Kane start the game alongside Leon Draisaitl on their second line. I think it's really important for him to be physical and to allow Leon Draisaitl some space to get the puck on his stick and hopefully score more goals for the Oilers. So if Evander Kane, I think it's set up for the Oilers. If they want to be successful tonight, they're going to have to hit a lot more than they did in game 5 when they were held to only 25 hits. They're going to have to be a little bit more physical than that. And Evander Kane's the start of that.
Michael's muted. The dog's been crying, so I'm trying to not distract you. Alexander Barkov over 2.5 shots on goal, +170. I like the value here, and I love this market. So why Barkov?
Yeah, well, I expected Barkov to play a lot. That's the reason I'm really going towards that, is because Barkov is the main defender that Florida likes to use against McDavid. Alexander Barkov and Sam Reinhart on the same line. Those are the top 2 players in the Selke Award, which is for the top defensive forward in the league. Those are the 2 top finishers. So Barkov and Reinhart should see a lot more playing time tonight going against McDavid, who's facing elimination and is going to be seeing a lot of ice time himself. So the two forwards that Florida uses to defend McDavid have been Barkov and Reinhart. So Barkov, I thought his best game of the series was in Game 5. He was a lot more noticeable, had the puck on his stick a lot more, had a few scoring chances, and he's also a better player at home. Over 60% of his points during the regular season came at home. I don't necessarily see him getting onto the scoreboard, but I do see him shooting a lot more and getting those shots on goals.
You love this market of winning from behind, and the Oilers you can get for pretty good value, a little more than 3-1. How come you like this market so much?
Well, I like this. Particularly in this series. This series has just been so wild. We've seen 3 overtime games. We've seen 3 come from behind wins. We saw the Oilers come from 3 goals behind in Game 4, which is just crazy. The Oilers are a really good third period team, and the Panthers are a really good first period team. So that would lead you to believe that maybe we'll see if we do see a comeback, it'll be the Oilers. And I'm on the side of the Oilers, so I might as well just get more value and see the Oilers win in a comeback fashion.
Which period's going to be the highest scoring one?
So I think the first period is going to – so as everyone knows, we've seen overs go we've seen the games go over the total in each of the first 5 games of this series. I think the first period is – both teams are going to come – with a fight, right? I think that both teams want to get on early. Neither team wants to chase the game, especially the Oilers. They feel like they've been chasing the game. Each of the last several games, they've been falling behind early and having to chase back. So I see goals coming in the first period. I don't necessarily see, it might just be 2 goals because we might finally see that, and we've talked about this all series. Unders are going to come, whether it's now or in Game 7.
It's crazy. It's been 5 overs.
Yeah. Oh, the over has hit 5 times in each of the first 5 games. The goal
Damn.
scoring, this is the highest scoring Stanley Cup final since the 80s. I mean, it's been a lot of goals. So I think the first period, that's where the value is in terms of being the highest scoring period tonight.
The Conn Smythe, obviously, if you think Edmonton has a shot, then there's got to be value out there. Who could we be looking at?
Yeah, there's several buy low candidates, and you're looking at McDavid and Draisaitl each. They're each, I thought I saw this morning, Draisaitl was 7-1, McDavid was 8-1. I think that's a tremendous value for the 2 best players in the league. I know it's a lot, asking Edmonton a lot to win 2 games, 1 on the road and then a game 7 at home. But you have the 2 best players. That's a huge buy low candidate for both McDavid and Draisaitl. The other long shot that I'll give you is if the series ends tonight and Sergei Bobrovsky, who's the goaltender for the Florida Panthers, has an unbelievable game. I saw him, I think he was 100-1 to win the Conn Smythe. I just think, remember, this is a voted on award, so media members.
Well, if it's been a high scoring series, you think he still really has a shot?
Well, so it's also the Conn Smythe is the playoff MVP, not just the final MVP. Bobrovsky was incredible in the conference finals to get them to this point, and he should have won the award last year. Last year, the Conn Smythe went to Connor McDavid on a losing team. I think some media members might remember that and say, I think we owe this guy one. I could just see it's not out of the realm of possibility of that happening. And 100-1, that's an incredible value if you grab that now on Sergei. But let's say he has 40 saves tonight and they win on a 1-0 shutout. That's not out of the realm of possibility. So I think that's tremendous value if you wanted to take a long shot on it.
Mr. Researcher, because I know that you do the edge stats over at NHL, NHL.com, NHL Fantasy. Earl wants to know how many shots on goal is Draisaitl averaging?
So he's second in this series in high danger shots on goal. In just this series, he's the leader in points and the leader in the final. I don't know how much he's averaging per game. McDavid's the one who's actually leading the entire playoffs in shots on goal. Draisaitl's behind him. But Draisaitl is a player we've seen. So interesting about Draisaitl, in game 3 of this series, he had 0 shot attempts, 0 shots on goal, obviously, which we never see from Leon Draisaitl. He's usually bringing the volume in terms of getting shots on goal, or at least getting shot attempts. We saw him respond, obviously, with the overtime winner in game 4, and he was pretty good in game 5 as well, even though the Oilers lost. I expect Leon Draisaitl to be shooting for the net a lot tonight.
Troy Perlowitz of NHL.com, NHL Fantasy. Are you ready to play my favorite game?
I am.
Okay, let's do it. It is propaganda. These are your most bet on props of the game. Brad Marchand to score an anytime goal. Connor McDavid to score an anytime goal. Brad Marchand to score the first goal. McDavid under 1.5 points. No goal in the first 10 minutes. Which prop is the public wrong about?
I'm going to go with you. I know you don't like first-time goal scorers. I'm not against Brad Marchand scoring first. That's something I would be against. I like no goal in the first 10 minutes. I'm on that side, and I've talked about how much I think McDavid is in for a big game tonight. Brad Marchand, he's winning the battle against Father Time this series. He's got 6 goals. It's the most that any player had in the Stanley Cup final in nearly 35 years. I just have a feeling that Edmonton's going to be on him tonight and not giving him any space. The interesting thing about Brad Marchand is that he's scored 3 goals. 3 of his 6 goals this series have come off the rush, which is a big surprise to me because you usually need a lot of speed to generate offense off the rush. And Brad Marchand, being 37 years old, is probably a little bit step behind than he usually is. But I just have a feeling that the Edmontons, they've had enough of this story. They've had to listen to two straight days of Brad Marchand being a great hockey player, which he is in his own right. I just don't think that there's any way the Oilers let him get behind them. And if they don't do that, if they defend him well, I don't see him getting this on the scoreboard, especially not first.
Well, for everyone that likes to fade the public, these are the top 5 most bet on props for tonight's Panthers-Oilers game. You just heard it from Troy Perlowitz himself about which props he feels the public is wrong about. So hopefully the public is wrong again today. Troy Perlowitz, what are you up to these days? Where can everybody find you?
I'm at Troy_Pearl, and follow us on all of our Instagram and X at NHL Fantasy. Well, we're there, and we're hopefully. I'm hoping that we have a couple more extra days and another game is on our schedule on Friday, so we'll be there all week.
Hey, listen, if we have another game, then we'll hear from you, and if we don't, then maybe we'll get you in for some kind of recap and looking ahead to 2025-2026 season. But Troy Perlowitz, you have been such a rock star all postseason long with us here at the Prop Queen Pod. So if it is the last time that you're giving out some props with us until next season, thank you for helping us so much this year.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed coming on. So thank you so much for having me.
Good luck with those bets tonight, Troy, even though I know you can't bet them. But we will hopefully have some good luck tonight. Speak to you soon.
Sounds good.
My turn. We've got some, let's see, what do I want to start with today? Batters to watch. Overs. Josh Bell, Antonio Sensatella. He's got a good matchup with him. Small sample size, but still 2 doubles. Trey Turner also, small sample size, but 4 of 9 with 2 doubles and a homer against Cal Quantrill. Austin Riley hitting .391 with 3 doubles against David Peterson. Jose Altuve hitting .409. He's the one I like the most tonight, Altuve, hitting .409 with 3 doubles and 2 homers against the lefty JP Sears. Gunnar Henderson also has killer numbers against Zach Littell, hitting 7 of 15 with a double and 2 homers. Matt Olson, not overall like great. No, it's weird. Matt Olson against David Peterson only has 4 hits. All 4 of those hits were home runs in 16 at-bats. So again, with Matt Olson, it was hard to put him in for overs because he hasn't gotten a hit in any of the other at-bats, like not even a single, but it's 4 home runs. Just saying. Unders, Max Kepler, he does not do well against Cal Quantrill, even though he has a double and a homer, but 4 for 22 with 4 Ks. Ketel Marte hitting .158 with a double against Bassett. Marcelo Zuna, 3 for 17 with 2 homers and 6 strikeouts against Peterson. Michael Harris, 1 for 10 with a double and 4 Ks against Peterson. Yandy Diaz, 1 for 16 with 3 Ks against Dean Kramer. Giancarlo Stanton, who had the big double last night. Oh, we didn't talk about how much the Yankees sucked last night. You can just look at my Instagram or my TikTok at the Prop Queen, and you'll see how pissed off I was after the Yankees completely blew the Giancarlo Stanton leadoff double in the bottom of the 9th. Over 9 with 7 Ks against Kyle Hendricks. That's a good one. Austin Hedges, 2 for 25 with double and 11 strikeouts against Robbie Ray, which should help us in my K-prop leans coming up. Jose Ramirez, 1 for 10 against Robbie Ray. And Ryan O'Hearn hitting .214 with a double and 3 strikeouts against Zach Littell. Before I get to strikeout props, actually, I'll do strikeout props and then I'll do fishy lines because then I have to go back to strikeout props for real locks. So, strikeout props that caught my eye today. Orioles starter Dean Kramer under 4.5 Ks. I love fading Kramer on the road. He's gone under this 4.5 number in 5 of 8 starts against low K rate lineups. Righties, I mean, the book has been probably the most off. Oh my God. Sorry. College World Series. Oregon State just tied the freaking game in the top of the 9th inning. I missed what just happened. There was an error. Holy crap. Louisville just blew that. It's an elimination game, guys. So if you guys aren't watching, this is insane. Which Michael on X last night asked if I actually watch games. So screw you, Michael. So right now it was 6-4 Louisville in the top of the 9th inning. Is that the shortstop? I think the shortstop or the shortstop freaking botched the grounder. Bases loaded. Now game tied at 6, Oregon State and Louisville. This is insane. Oregon State dugout looked dead in the water. This is nuts. And good job for Beavers plus 1.5. Nice call there so far. Okay, back to strikeout props. So Dean Kramer going up against the Rays. Righties this year against the Rays, 32 unders and 18 overs. So the book is still not booking the Rays right. Under for Kramer on the road against a very low K rate Rays team. Matthew Liberatore over 4.5 Ks. Liberatore's gone over this in 5 of 9 starts against high K rate lineups. The White Sox, they're not only averaging 6.5 Ks against lefties, 7 of the last 8 lefty starters to face the White Sox have had 5 strikeouts or more. As for Chad Patrick, under 4.5 Ks for him. He's gone under this in 4 of 7 starts against low K rate lineups. 3 of 4 on the road have also gone under. The Cubs have been one of the lowest K rate teams all season, averaging about 4 strikeouts a game against righty starters. 6 of the last 10 have gone under 4.5 Ks. Then there's Robbie Ray, who I just mentioned. There were a lot of strikeouts against him on that Guardians lineup. Robbie Ray has gone over 6.5 Ks in 5 of 8 starts against high K rate lineups against lefties. At home, he's gone over in 3 of 5. Now, I know 6.5 is high, but when you look at lefties against the Guardians, 12 overs and just 3 unders. The most notable bigger names who are strikeout pitchers like a Robbie Ray, Max Fried, a lefty, 7 Ks, Carlos Rodon, a lefty with 8 Ks, Tarek Skubal, 13 Ks, also a lefty. So if those guys could go over at plus 105, Robbie Ray can also go over. Now it's time for Fishy Lines. Fishy line of the day. Actually spoke about this game yesterday with Mark Zinno when he came on because he said it was fishy that the line moved and actually kind of flipped against the Phillies yesterday, yet the Phillies still ended up winning the game. It's still moving again. So the Sharps are really liking the Marlins in this series. The line moved 10 cents against the Phillies despite majority of action on them. It's Jesus Luzardo, first off, who has given up 24 runs in his last 4 starts. I know he had a good start in his last outing, but I mean, come on, before that was horrible. I think it was like 23 runs in 2 games. Marlins right-hander Cal Quantrill, even though we always typically fade him, he's actually pitched well at home. In Miami, Quantrill hasn't allowed more than 2 runs since April 13th. That includes games against the Dodgers, the Rays, the Giants. Cal Quantrill's pitching well, so you could do Miami first 5. I mean, Philly's bullpen's a little bit more rested than Miami, but Philly's bullpen sucked this year. Both these teams are bottom 10 bullpen-wise. Just a fishy line. So either stay away from the Phillies tonight or you could back Miami if you want a dog. It's more against the Phillies than pro Marlins, or at least by my numbers. Phillies due to fall off fast and soon. Yeah, and Jesus Luzardo just coming off a good outing, but he sucked before that. So maybe he comes back to life a little bit. Okay, I think that was it for today, but I do have, of course, the best bets of the day. Let's get to my Royal Labs. These are the 2 strikeout props that I like the most that I just mentioned. Dean Kramer, he's on the road, so I like to take his unders, especially at plus money against a Tampa team that is not striking out that much. 32 unders, just 18 overs, averaging about 4 strikeouts a game. Dean Kramer's gone under 4.5 Ks in 5 of 8 starts this year against low K rate lineups, so I'm going to take the under there. St. Louis lefty Matthew Liberatore over 4.5 Ks, not only because he's gone over this in 5 of 9 starts against high K rate teams. The White Sox are averaging a ton of strikeouts against lefties this year, 6.5 Ks a game, with 7 of the last 8 southpaws to go over this number against the White Sox. So Liberatore over, Kramer under, let's cash. And if you don't think that I bet, I do. And that's why I use Pickett. They sponsored us because I've been a good fan of theirs for the last year. I met them at Pickett in the Park last year at Yankee Stadium. Me and Kelly had a blast with them. Started doing a little bit of work, but now they are a sponsor of the show. And it's because I actually do use their product. You could follow me. You could see all the bets I actually bet because this is all linked to my sports books. Use promo code PropQueen. It's free. Just use the promo code PropQueen. Download the Pickett Sports app. You just have to link your sports books to it. And then it tracks all your stuff, no problem. I used to use these other apps where I had to manually put it in and I kept forgetting to do it. And people are like, do you actually bet? Yeah, I do. I'm just a lazy idiot who sometimes forgets to plug in manually my crap. And now I don't need to. It's all connected. So you see what I legitimately always bet on my sports books. I typically use FanDuel and DraftKings. I told you, it's been a little bit rough having to start my own business and not get paid for this really yet. So I haven't been betting as much as usual because I had to invest in Prop Queen, but I am betting, just not as much, pulled back a little, but you could see what I bet. You see how much I bet, you see what I bet. And it's a fun time on Pickett. So follow along at Pickett Sports, Ariel Epstein, Prop Queen. Please download the app, use promo code Prop Queen, and it's free. You have to link your sports book though. Link your sports book or else it doesn't count. It helps the show. If you guys continue to download Picket and you send the referral code Prop Queen, it helps the show. And then they like us, and then they keep promoting us, and they will keep sponsoring us. And then I make more money, and then I could bet more, and then I could do more cool things here on the Prop Queen pod. But I haven't made money since November, like very little money since November. So, like, just to be fully transparent with you, it is a grind to start a business. So if you go to Picket and you use promo code Prop Queen, download the app and connect your sports books to it, it looks good for me. Not that like I really get anything for it, but like it just looks good. We just want the show to look good. And I want you guys to look good, and I want you guys to get winners. And that's why we do not settle. Remember, Thursday, Kelly in Vegas will be on the show. And apparently Coach James Young is going to join in too, because we don't settle. We continue to elevate. We continue to always strive for the best. If you don't strive for the best in life, then you are always going to just be complacent. And that's not fun. I mean, some people enjoy complacency. Some people enjoy being like, I don't know, comfortable in life. I don't. I like to have a little drama. I love a little edge. I love to make sure that we are always having a great freaking time and taking risks, because if we don't take risks, then what are we doing here? Everyone who's watching this show loves to take a risk, which is why I went on my own and started the Prep Queen. And that's why I love that we have all you guys watching today. And it means so, so much to me. But what means more to me is that dog that's in the crate right now hysterically crying because I can't be with her for 1 freaking hour of the day. With her the whole day. I'm going to the Yankees game on Saturday too. So if anyone's going to the Yankee Stadium on Saturday to watch them probably lose to the Orioles, let me know. I will be back tomorrow, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know what guest. I'll probably ask for Tom Vecchio to come on tomorrow. If anyone has anyone that they want to come on tomorrow, just comment below. Comment on the stream on X or YouTube, and I will try to find some good guests for tomorrow's show. Thursday, of course, we know it's going to be Kelly and Coach Young talking about my dating life. And, of course, we'll talk lacrosse and baseball and all the things above. But for everybody here, thank you all for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Download Picket, connect your sportsbook, use promo code PropQueen, please. And you can subscribe to the newsletter. If you missed anything, the newsletter at thepropqueen.com. I'm now putting in all of the guest picks into it. So you could, if you missed the guest picks and you're a premium or basic subscriber, you can get all the guest picks, but you could subscribe to the YouTube page at Prop Queen Sports and watch the show back for free. Get all the analysis as well. Coach James Young, Troy Perlowitz, they were awesome. We gave WNBA picks, NBA Finals early predictions, Stanley Cup Finals. Maybe the series continues after tonight. Then, of course, I've got Major League Baseball. We covered it all. We covered it all for you. See you guys tomorrow, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Good luck with your bets tonight.